Congratulations to Virginia Tech on an absolutely insane football game. The guys we have in our locker room right now are hurting badly, as you would expect. As a coaching staff, I can't be more proud of the effort that we play with. To come back down from 28-0 is, that's something that is if you ever want proof of the character of our young men, the effort they play with, what they believe in each other and what they believe in this program, there's no better example than that. Our issue is that we had just, the errors that we made, giving them a 48-yard drive, a 23-yard drive, and a 20-yard drive to go up 21-0 in the first quarter. It's not complicated, turnovers, where the turnovers occurred. Obviously, we continue to hurt ourselves with penalties. And then there's some red zone execution. Obviously, I thought the difference in the game was the red zone, them versus us. All that being said, again, to battle back, to have a chance to win the football game shows that we've got something special in that locker room. We've got something that's worth protecting. The execution part, we had a feeling that would be something that would lag behind the effort as the season, as we got into the season. But it's time for us to look at ourselves as a staff, and we've got to do a better job of getting this execution going quicker. And obviously, we've got an outstanding opponent here. Friday night, we don't have a lot of time to lick our wounds and get ready to play here, Virginia, on Friday. So with that, I'll open for questions.
Manny, can you take us through the decision to go for two when we're down 8?
Yeah, that's again, like we've talked about, it's one of these data type deals. Basically, what you're going on the notion is that you have two shots to get 2 points, but if you get it the first time, you kick a PAT and ideally win the game. We didn't run the 2-point conversion the way we wanted to. It was an insane effort by DJ Dallas to get it in there, and to be honest, it worked out. We had two really unusual end of game situations. We had that, the old down 14, go for two to make it 6. Obviously we have to make the PAT. That's a minimum expectation. That obviously took some of the wind out of our sails. They came down, made some great throws. They got the ball inside of our 5-yard line, and we actually had to run our surrender defense, where we had to allow them to score a touchdown to give our chance to the offense to have the ball, because all they would have to do is just run the ball in the middle of the field. They could have run all the clock out, and they could have kicked a field goal and run out of the locker room 38-35 winners. So I thought we executed both of those end of game situations very well, and obviously we had a shot. How many times we threw the ball in the end zone there at the end to win the game, and we completed a Hail Mary. So. I can't fault us in the last couple of minutes. It was obviously, again, we put ourselves in such a humongous hole in the first quarter.
Manny, did you bench Jaron Williams, and is Nkosi the starting quarterback now?
No, I don't know how you would describe a bench, but obviously we felt like the way that Jaron started the game, that we felt like Nkosi had a chance to come in and, see what was going on in there and see if he could do something to light a spark, because obviously Jaron was either just, seeing it late or just getting the ball out late or whatever it was, and, just 3 interceptions in that quick succession. So I thought Nkosi went in, and from that point on, just in this stage, gave us the best chance to win. We didn't want to do anything to wreck Jaron's confidence. We still believe in Jaron as our guy. So I don't know what would change. We just felt like as this game was going on, that Nkosi gave us the best chance to win.
Coach, he was clearly dealing with some shoulder. When he came back out, he was moving the shoulder in a way that suggests there's a problem there.
He was healthy enough to play today and healthy enough to go back in if needed.
Coach, in the previous 4 games, Virginia Tech looked pretty susceptible to the run. Coming into this game, did you plan on maybe running the ball more? I guess combined DJ and Cam had 8 combined carries. I know the game got out of hand, but was there a plan maybe to run the ball more?
No, of course there was, but you have to loosen them up because of the numbers that they play around the box. They have 8 guys standing there, 9 guys standing there based off of your formation, and that's where some of the throws down the field that you look. When you play their defense, you got to hit some throws against them. They dare you to do it, and that was really the story of the first quarter. We were not hitting the throws that we expected to hit.
Manny, compared to last year, what has happened to the defense? We don't see as much turnover change, and in the North Carolina game and today, 2 long pass plays with the game on the line.
The turnovers, we obviously did not get a turnover today, which was a vital, telling stat in winning the game. And you think if you lose turnovers 4-0 and lose a game by 1 possession, you did a lot of other things right. And that's when you analyze it. You don't want to make sure you throw the baby out with the bathwater. But again, I thought our red zone defense wasn't very good today. But when you look at the way that the situation the defense was put in, 48 yards, 23 yards, 20 yards, you know, made it fairly difficult on them for a large stretch of the game. And then if you also have to think about the defense where, you know, when we were basically in a no margin for error situation for so long, the long pass to the tight end to number 82 was a play where we allowed ourselves to get picked. It's not a pick play, but that's part of the design. And the way that we chased the route, it was a third down and short. And again, you're playing from, in essence, from 9 minutes left in the second quarter, you're playing a no margin for error game on defense, where every third down is vital to make sure it stops. So again, you're almost in a red zone structure anywhere where you're at. So again, the fact that we got rubbed off of that is what got them down there. But we still had a chance to play. The fade on the last drive was an outstanding throw and catch. You know, put the ball where only their guy had a chance to get it.
How do you think Nick played today?
I thought he uneven, you know, like our whole performance, you know what I mean? I thought he made some really good throws. I thought he kept some things alive. But I think when he watches on film, there's some throws that, again, that just feel anticipation that if he just lets it rip, there's some big plays that are available. But like I said, you know, I mean, the story could have been told he would have driven us down the field and with a chance to kick it, go up 36-35. So, you know, there's a lot of guys in that locker room that played good enough to pull off one of the most historic wins of all time. And yet everybody in that locker room, coaches included, you know, made enough mistakes execution-wise to not allow us to really to make us feel the way we feel right now, which is pretty awful.
Manny, how tough was it to figure out much about their quarterbacks since really no tape kind of existed of them before today?
Yeah, but, you know, I mean, that's true, but I think the way that the game went early on, and them getting separation on the scoreboard allowed them to really protect him, right? And they were able to run the ball. It took a minute to understand that third down wasn't third down for them. You know, they're running the ball on third down, doing different type of things. But, you know, the play, like I mentioned during the week, you've got a 4-year, you know, back and forth with these guys now. You have an understanding of what they like to run out of different formations. So I think he threw the ball better than you know, obviously he'd only thrown 2 throws on film, but that doesn't actually change the structure of how we're playing.
Manny, you mentioned the red zone. I know this feels like a long time ago, but you guys had it there, I think, at the 4-yard line, second quarter, threw it 4 straight times. Did you just feel like you couldn't punch it in with the running game? I guess what was sort of the idea there in that particular series?
Again, it's the best stuff against what they do defensively that gives us a chance to score a touchdown. You know, so I mean, you know, it's I know it's always easy to go back and look at the call instead of looking at the way actually that the routes are being run and ball placement and, you know, the disruption of, you know, guys grabbing the guy, you know, just that type of stuff, just the game, right? Just the game being played. But I think in that scenario, I think we were down 28 by then. You know, so it was at a situation where 3 was, you know, you didn't feel like 3 was going to do anything for us either.
Let's do 2 more questions.
Manny, it's just one day, obviously, but it's still a short week. How do you change anything structurally this week as far as how you go about business?
A little bit. As you get into the week, the days kind of change, you know, like a Tuesday's a Wednesday and a Wednesday, you know, that type of deal. But you know, I think this is what we need. Obviously, we have a lot of respect for Virginia, and I think we need to get right back on, you know, right back on the saddle and come right back to work. And like I said, and, you know, the team will fight for each other, and that's not just talk, right? I mean, they put it on tape, you know, and now the question is, will they continue to do that? And they have invested a lot. You know, we've asked a lot of them, and that's why, again, I'm very proud of their effort. And if we just now have to look at how we can just fix our issues and our self-inflicted wounds, which, you know, are keeping us from being a good football team right now, because right now we're not.
Coach, just curious, post-game, what was the leadership like immediately after? I know it hasn't been that long, but what did you notice about the players?
In the locker room, there's not. There's a lot of guys that are hurting together. There's not one negative word said from one person to another person. I'll be very honest, it's been that way all year. You know, no one wanted our start of the season to go off like this is. But I think the guys in there, they respect what they've put into this program. They respect each other. They respect the work they put in each other. And I mean, if you look at our sideline in the fourth quarter of that game, you look at a guy like DJ Dallas making a run like that. I mean, that's what breaks your heart as a coach, because you want that play to be something that people talk about for years and years to come. That should have been a comeback that should be talked about forever. And to get that close, and that's just our issue right now, you know? And it's easy to look at us and say, oh, you know, about 2 and 3 and it's not happening and whatever. But, man, this is just a young team that's just learning how to get over the edge. I mean, look at the 3 losses, you know, and it's just, what is it? Do we got to get in that game? Is that just that confidence of that thing that's just going to do it? And then when it happens, and then we continue to play with the effort and the fight, like, look out. But no one's going to want to hear that right now, and I'm fine with that. Because we got enough issues to start. I'm not trying to paint some rosy future. That ain't what matters right now. But again, there's something worth fighting for in there.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.